The word on the street, guys, is business credit, and guess what? Business credit. I am here again this evening with our second showing and session with our business credit expert, Julius Tolbert, who is going to be here to stretch out the information that we have regarding business credit and how to build that business credit. It's the word on the street. Don't think it's just for us on a personal level. It has to be in your business as well. Julius, thank you for being here and welcome.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have me.
And I know that you're full of energy. You're ready for dinner. Yeah, you're ready for dinner. Right? So we're going to go right into it, delve right into it, and start jumping off from where we had left off. As a matter of fact, why don't we just touch on a little bit that we discussed in our last segment, Julius? Just give us a quick overview of business credit and why it's so important to have it.
Okay. Well, business credit is very important, especially for a small business, for you to be able to scale your business. The majority of small business owners find it very tough to scale their business and grow it out of year one into in year two without the right type of funding. So business credit allows you to build and get that funding without a lot of times without a social security number or a personal guarantee.
And it is one of those areas that we say we don't want to use our personal credit. We don't want to personally back the funding, right, Julius?
I would say somewhat, but then when you get to a certain point, we get the SBA, and we'll talk about that later. Then yes, you don't have a choice, and you will have to. But in the level of building it up, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of funding without having a personal guarantee. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. All right, that was a quick synopsis. We're ready to dive in. There's a myth that I need you just to clear up for me, okay? Virtual office, we know that we need office. We know that we need a telephone number so that we can actually have it all registered in Dun & Bradstreet. Where do we go and what is the right company? There's all these virtualaddresses.com, postaloffice.com. Which is the right place to go to in establishing that myth about the virtual office, having an established telephone number, if we do not actually, in actuality, have our own commercial space?
Yeah, well, as far as the address, Regis is one of the main ones. That's one of the most popular ones people use. So that's the one that I would recommend. What I tell my clients all the time is what it cannot be is a post office box. There's a lot of post office that uses virtual addresses now. But if it's connected to post office in any kind of way, you're not going to be able to build business credit. So use Regis. If not, you can definitely still use your home address.
Perfect. And what would the estimated pricing be for a virtual office?
I would say roughly, it depends on the area, but I would roughly say about $100 a month.
Okay.
And then as far as the phone number, you can have a landline. If you do have a landline, that's great. That's ideal. But if you don't have a landline and don't plan on having one, then you probably want to use something like Ring Central.
Right.
Is one. And then you want to make sure that you have your 411 listed. So you want to have your business phone number and address and everything listed in 411.
In 411.
Yes,
all right. Here we go. There's 4 tiers to credit, right, Julius?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the correlation tier 1, 2, 3. And I know the big gusto is tier 4, but let's have a quick review of those 3 tiers to start out with.
Okay. Well, the main difference, I'm going to say difference, but the thing that kind of connects them all is they all need each other. And I think that this is where a lot of people kind of mess up in building business credit, because they get a lot of different information from a lot of different places, and they don't realize that to build business credit and to build it the right way, it has to be in a certain sequence. Okay, so just like building a house. So you want to make sure initially that you got a strong foundation. And that's what we talked about in the first call. So now when you're actually starting building your business credit or building your house of business credit, you have to understand that each tier need each other. So you can't jump to the second floor if you don't have your first floor built out, and so on and so forth.
That's a great analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so under tier 1, what kind of accounts can we apply for?
Okay, so these are, you kind of look at a tier one in a lot of ways, kind of like cosigners. These are, when you think about your personal credit, you didn't have any credit, you needed somebody to kind of vouch for you. That's what tier one credit companies are. These companies are companies where they know that they're going to extend you credit if they can just verify your business. Okay, they're just trying to determine if your business is real or not. If so, then they're going to extend you credit. It's not going to be big credit initially. It's going to be between probably 500 to 1,500, but it will be credit that they will be asking for or setting you up on a net 30 or some kind of net term. The most popular one is net 30. And what that means for people who don't know what net 30 means or any kind of net term is that that's how much time that you have to pay back that. So if somebody gave you $1,000 line of credit, if you use $500 of it, you don't have to pay for it right then. They'll send you a bill. And when you get that bill, if it's a net 30 account, you got 30 days to pay that invoice back. You paying it back on time, they're going to report that payment as being an on-time payment.
And is it the full amount of the $400, like an Amex card, right? I put $5,000 on my Amex card. My next time I have to pay that whole $5,000. Is that the same type of thing, Julius, with the net 30s?
That's exactly what net 30s is. So what I tell my clients is to never bite off no more than you can chew. Now, if you got a line of credit, let's say for $1,000, and you need to buy something that's cost $1,000, already to have it in your mind that you already had that money ready to spend. So as soon as you get that invoice, you can pay for it. But if that's not the case, and then what you're ultimately trying to do is build business credit, then like I said, don't bite off more you can chew. Do about, I would say, between $50 to $175, somewhere in that range. Just find something to buy, order it, get that invoice, and then pay it off immediately. I can't hear you.
My question is that, so where would we actually find that that net 30 account? Who would one of those net 30 accounts be?
So one of those net 30 accounts would be Uline, and another one would be Granger. These two companies would set up a relationship with you, with your company, give you a line of credit on net terms. Like I said, you can order what you need from them, or just to build business credit, just order something from them to get that invoice to then start that cycle. People have to understand one of the major differences between personal credit and business credit is business credit is not the main thing they focus on is on-time payments. They don't focus on credit utilization and all this other stuff. So
that's out of the window, not like your personal credit. Right.
Exactly. So when you get approved for business credit, even though that's something to be celebrated, it's not going to reflect on your business credit report yet. And the reason why is because you have to use the credit first, because that's the only thing that business credit is based off of, on time. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I have a question that just came up. Do you have to buy something every month with a net 30?
You don't have to buy everything every month, but what we suggest is for you to buy things probably a couple times. So probably over a couple orders or so. But as soon as you start to see it report on your credit reporting app, which is NAV, if people don't know. So NAV is NAV is how you spell it. And it's very similar to Credit Karma. So if people are familiar with how Credit Karma works, that's how NAV works. So it's NAV, but there it's going to show you your business credit score, and it's going to show you how many trade accounts that you have reporting. Okay. Right. As soon as you see trade accounts reporting, then you know that, hey, I can kind of move on. So the thing with that is that you don't have to do it every month. So long as they start reporting and they're reporting something good, saying that, hey, that you paying on time or you pay promptly, then it could be 8 months before you order something from them, and it's going to still say the same thing until a day comes. Hopefully it doesn't come that you don't pay them promptly, and then they will report that.
Right. Now, is it normally that the reporting happens on the 31st day of every cycle in terms of it being reported to NAV?
It's different companies. Different companies have different reporting days. So what we suggest is that as soon as you see that invoice, immediately pay it. Okay.
Right.
Because what you're ultimately trying to do is build business credit, and hopefully you're trying to build it as fast as you can build it. Okay.
Sure.
So what
Absolutely.
happens is if you can initially, it could initially take 60 days for an account to report if you took their whole 30 days to make that payment. You have the opportunity to take the 30 days, but just understand that'll be 30 days longer that you will have to wait to see that report on your business credit report. The sound still.
Nope.
There we go. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So sorry about that, guys. Having some difficulties here. Don't shoot me for that.
It's okay. So
Let's go into tier twos real quick, Julius, before we
yeah.
take a quick break.
Yeah.
What do we need, and what are those accounts that we need for tier two? Again, we're building that sandwich, right? We're building
Yeah.
that house. You can't put on the roof without putting down the foundations first. So now, because I've got
Yep. Okay. So tier two is revolving accounts. Okay. So understand about tier two that before you can get to tier two, you needed tier one. Okay. So when they pull your Dun and Bradstreet report, that's what they want to see. They want to see that you have at least 3 to 5 business accounts reporting on your Dun and Bradstreet or your whatever business reporting tool that they use. Okay. So revolving accounts means that they'll let you carry a balance. So whereas in tier one, they wanted their money in full in whatever that net term was, net 15, net 30, whatever it may be. In that next level, what they want is they call revolving accounts because they're going to let you carry a balance. So these type of cards are going to be store department cards. So like Lowe's, Home Depot, Best Buy, Apple, Dell Computers, these type of companies. They will then, like I said, give you a line of credit. Give you an example. Line of credit may be $7,500 if you at Dell. So let's say if you go buy $7,500 worth of computers, from Dell, exhaust that whole line of credit, then whatever that minimum amount due is monthly is all you're ultimately responsible for keeping up with. So the name of the game in business credit is to make sure that you never miss a payment. So on-time payments or early payments is the key and the goal. But that's the only thing that business credit is based off of. So that's the only thing to focus on. So if you do, let's say if you did use that whole $7,500, you don't have to worry about, hey, would that impact my business credit score in a negative way? If anything,
right.
It would impact it in a positive way because you're using more of the credit.
Right. Okay, you got to get that mindset, right?
Yeah, that's totally different than personal credit.
Absolutely. Let's go into a quick break. It's going to be a quick 30 seconds. Going to come back, finish off on 3 and 4, and just conclude this segment on our part 2 discussions on building business credit. We're going to be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, we're back again. Just a real quick break there. And again, I want just to apologize for my sound here. It's just going a little bit crazy today. So let's continue in on our tier 3 area of building business credit, Julius. I know as soon as I started getting you talking about business credit,
you get all excited.
You get all excited. So let's go straight into it. Tier 3. What's going on in tier 3?
Tier 3 is going to be gas cards. So these are going to be your big companies, your Exxon, your BP, Shell, these type of companies. These companies are going to extend the lines of credit for you, $5,000, $10,000 per card. And, the majority of people right now are using or spending or paying for gas either with cash or debit at the pump. The problem with that is you're not getting any credit for that. So if you had these gas cards, now you're using the gas cards at the pump instead of using cash and debit. They're going to send you an invoice monthly. You're going to pay that invoice, and then they're going to be those payments as well are going to be started to be remitted to the Dun and Bradstreet and those other companies.
And again, that's also going to be reported once you pull your NAV. That's also going to be shown on there as well.
Correct.
Perfect.
Correct.
Well, that was pretty easy.
Yeah. It's all about
right?
sequence. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You know, it is easy if you understand the sequence of how to build it. And then our
Right.
software, which we'll talk about, you know, in a little while, it helps you make it even more
Got you long.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just streamlines it. Okay. So icing on the cake, Julius.
Yep.
Sprinkles on that ice cream. Tier 4.
Yep. So tier
what
4.
do we got?
Yeah, so tier 4 is ultimately what everybody's after, you know, and understand to get to tier 4, you have to have at least, I would say, between 12 to 15 of these trade accounts reporting on your Dun and Bradstreet. Okay, so what everybody is after is the major credit cards and being able to purchase vehicles and property and different things like that in their business name. Okay, so with the major credit cards, we're talking about, you know, Amex, you know, Capital One, you name them, Visa, MasterCard, all these guys. But by the time that your business profile is built out like that, we're talking about 10,000 on a low end per credit card. You know, I have clients that get $50,000, $60,000 per credit card. So if you get 5 credit cards, I mean, that's over $250,000 in funding that you have just with that. Then you're also able to go into the dealership. Doesn't matter if you need a company car, if you doing work vans or, you know, 18-wheeler trucks, doesn't really matter what it is. You go into the dealership, talk to the fleet managers, and you're able to put these vehicles in your business name, a lot of times with no money down, but definitely with no personal guarantee.
So you make it sound so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it, right? Okay, many years of doing it, you've, you know, gone this way, gone that way, you've figured it out, you've got a sequence, you've got a formula, right?
Correct.
So how do I start, right? Because you make it sound so easy. How do I actually go about starting?
Yeah, well, with our software, we've at Tolbert Consulting Group, we have kind of simplified building out business credit. You know, what we talked about in the first segment about, you know, laying out that foundation, that's what our software does. So someone who initially wants to sign up with us, what will initially happen is you'll get an email that will have your login and password information. Okay. You take that information, you're able to start building out your business credit with our software. Okay, so one of the first things it's going to ask you for is ask you a lot of these foundational questions. Do you have your LLC, EIN, you know, so on and so forth. And the reason why they're asking these questions is they want to really make sure that you have everything lined up that you need, that once you actually start going out here and apply for business credit, you're not getting denied all over the place. Okay. And then once that process is completed, and now it's time for you to build business credit, all of the lenders at these different levels that we've talked about, you don't have to go looking around who's going to give me credit, who's not, who's going to actually report, who's not. They're all going to be inside of our software. Okay. So they all come to you. So it's a very simplified, very easy process. So as long as you kind of follow directions, then it's going to be very simple to within 6 months build out a very, very strong business credit profile.
So this is what I'm going to, you know, close out our segment on today. And we did touch on it. And, you know, we've talked about, you know, your system, your software. Let's talk about the services that Tolbert Consulting Group provides in terms of helping that business owner get from no credit to credit of $100,000, lines of credit, gas and fleet cards. Tell us about how that process to connect with you to get us from point A to point B.
Yeah. And to me, it's very simple. We sign up with anybody that's a member of your organization. I'm giving $250 off of the program. The program itself is going to take the client 6 to 8 months to build out. And when I say build out, and the end result of that is having a strong business credit profile and a strong business credit score. So what that means is a PAYDEX score of a range of 80 to 100, which is equivalent to a FICO credit score of a 750 to 850. So a good business credit score. But just having a good business credit score isn't good enough. You need a strong business credit profile, which is all these companies that we talked about kind of stacked on top of each other. So that's what our program does, is it actually helps you build that out. out. We give you the support behind that. So we're not just giving you the software, kind of throwing you out there. At any point in time, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, we're here to kind of coach you along the process and help you achieve that. The program itself, the cost of the program is $2,500. $250 off will be $2,250 for you all, and this is a paid in full. If you want to, we do have some in-house financing options if you need to break those payments down, but there's 100% tax deductible. Okay, so this is something that you will definitely get back, or this will be less you'll have to pay Uncle Sam if you itemize your taxes. And like I said, the goal is to build the business credit for your organization as quick as we possibly can, to get you the access to the funding that you need to really grow and scale your business.
So you know that you and I had a joke earlier on, Julius, that I, use my daughter to get discounts. So
yeah.
my question to you, Mr. CEO, do I get a discount if my daughter's cute?
yeah. Most
That's
definitely.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so very much. She's going to be very, very pleased with that. Julius, I just so thank you again. I know that we just never have enough time in terms of, getting all of that information out there. But it's all relative information. How do we get in contact with you? If you can maybe just, tell everybody a telephone number, an email address that they can connect with you. But by all means, anybody can come through Home Care Business Advisors to make the connection. And when you do connect with Julius, always make sure that you mention Home Care Business Advisors, that you heard the information right here. He's got to be able to know where the information or where the inquiry is coming from. So how do we get in contact with you? What's your telephone number? What's your email?
Yep. Well, I'll start off with my website. So my website is www.tolbert, consultinggroup.com. And if you go there, you'll be able to schedule a free consultation. So we're able to really talk more in depth about your specific situation. And I can give you some strategy on how to kind of grow and get you to where you're trying to get to. So that's the website. My email is info@tolbertconsultinggroup.com. And my phone number is area code 864-350-0444.
If you could repeat that telephone number again for us, please.
Yep, area code 864-350-0444.
Okay, I've just put it up there on the feed. We've got your website at www.tolbertconsultinggroup.com. We have your email at info@tolbertconsultinggroup.com. And a direct telephone number of 864-350-0444.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be it.
I got it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. It was a pleasure having me.
Oh, absolutely. Always. And again, it's just never enough time to get all the information. So bear with us. Want to have you back again. Continue talking, have that discussion.
Yeah, definitely. So much more to talk about.
There's so much more, and I know we're just like really just touching this, scratching the surface. There's a lot more underneath that. We're going to get to that though. But in the meantime, my love, go have dinner, say hi to the wife. You take care, and we're going to be talking again soon. Thanks.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julius.
Hey.